Hello, my name is Jojo Palacio. I am the head of strategy and infrastructure at a company called Work. We do HR, payroll, benefits, services, and we provide an HRIS and payroll system for the health and wellness industries. I am excited to talk with you today. My background is in people and talent, and I'm really excited to be helping you on how to ace your job interview. As you can see, we're in the beautiful city of San Francisco, California, right behind me, and I'm really excited to be speaking to all of you. This is presented by Portland Workforce Alliance, and I'm really excited to be here at this virtual expo. So without further ado, let's dive in and get started. Today's agenda is preparing for the interview, acing the interview, and then closing the interview. And as we go through the agenda, I'm gonna throw in some tips and tricks, just some things to think about, especially when you go into any different type of interview. Really quickly, as I said, my name is Jojo. You can call me Jojo. They'll provide my email, so if anyone has any questions after the virtual conference, you're more than welcome to reach out to me. And again, I've been doing people and talent for about a decade now, which is quite a bit of time. So hopefully this bow tie is the cool hip thing to wear. I'm really excited to be presenting this to you all. So first, let's talk about step one, preparing for the interview. This is a really pivotal step. I have a phrase, prior planning prevents poor performance, the 5 Ps. And so you want to make sure that you're ready with all of these tasks that they mention here. You want to confirm the date and time of the interview. And this doesn't matter from just a restaurant or fast food place all the way to an internship. You want to get to know the company. You can look online to get to know the company, do research, find research articles. I sometimes even look at newspapers and magazines about the company online. So yeah, you really want to just make sure you understand what the company does, who they are, what their mission is, and how this job can affect the company. Select professional clothing. Now, I would like to say on the professional clothing, you definitely want to try to match to the style of the industry. I will say you look at me and there's a bow tie and a floral button up. That might not translate the same to various industries. So you want to try to not only look professional, but not go overboard if it's for industries that are a little bit more relaxed. I always say pants and slacks and pants and a button-up shirt is always a great way to go. Review your resume, practice the travel. Those are both two things. Make sure that you understand what is on your resume and what you've written, what you should, because you made it up. And then, before the date of the interview is go and travel there. Travel to the place that you need to go to just to be prepared and kind of get yourself in that mindset that if you got the job, this is what your day-to-day look like. I'm a big stickler about this, especially when I interview people being on time or even early. I always think 10 to 15 minutes is okay. You can also do 5, but just be very careful. Again, it depends on that industry. And then last but not least, bring your materials, resume, references. If they like you, a lot of places, especially restaurants and fast food places, will hire you on the spot. So you want to make sure you have those references ready to go. Just pull out from the back pocket. And then last but not least is check and know your online reputation. This is actually really important. We're going to be touching on this on the next slide. Again, I wanted to let everyone know, confirm, know, clothing, review, practice, arrive, bring, check. Those are the steps you want to think about as you're preparing for the interview. So step one, again, like we said last time, is check your online reputation. I know the cool hip things are like TikTok and Instagram and Insta stories and Insta TV. And, those are all really great platforms and really fun. I don't really know them that well, but I think that it's really great to make sure that you know what you put online. Don't put anything that's negative. Don't put anything that's going to put you in a bad light. And how do you present yourself? I will say I do like people who are a little bit fun, but I'm one person of a whole interview and recruiters and managers that will be hiring you. So you definitely want to think about what you put online and what your profiles look like before you go into an interview. I would also say, I would think about, as you're going through those profiles, think about how you perceive yourself. If you watch those as an outside person, always take a step back and saying, what am I looking like right now? Am I the cool kid wearing sunglasses, playing sports and drawing, or am I just acting like a bully and am I coming off in a negative way? They will see you. You will be Googled. So hopefully that makes a little bit of sense. Not stopping all the fun that people are having, but also do you just want to be conscious of your online reputation? Step 1 for preparing the interview as well, part 3. So when you go and practice and before you go to the interview, like do a few things that I think would really, really helpful. 1, eye contact and handshake. And when you go to the interview, you want to do that, great. But how you can prepare, you can look at yourself in the mirror and ask yourself questions and then answer those questions back. Or you can practice with your mom and dad who want to do a quick handshake with you. They can practice your handshake, get that strong and firm. Project confidence and look relaxed, even if you aren't. No one's relaxed in an interview, so don't worry about that. Even the most experienced people, they get a little bit nervous, but you want to still present that confidence. I will say also humility is a great thing. So there's a difference between being too confident and then being humble. And so you definitely want to show a little bit of humility, but confidence is always a great thing. Answering interview questions with tact, and you want to make sure that you say it short, sweet, but enough details that gets them the answer. So just try to think, like, how am I going to get to what I'm trying to tell them in the quickest, most efficient type of way. Last but not least, elevator speech. In about 3 to 5 sentences, how do you describe you? What is your product? Who are you as a product? I will say, because of the recent pandemic and the germs, some people might not shake their hands. That is okay. Just politely decline. You do not have to shake their hands. They do not have to shake yours. Just be ready for that and be understanding. And, I would say, as you're practicing and as you're looking at yourself in the mirror, eye contact, asking yourself questions, you do want to practice a smile and just sit tall and look forward to it. Have fun with it. It's not going to be perfect, but at the end of the day, you are great. You do the best you can, and you just try. All right, so now on to step 2. The dreaded tell me about yourself. Even to this day, I can tell you, I still have a problem kind of describing that. 1, I think it's just an odd question to ask, but it is going to be a question that they ask. It will most likely be the first question of the interview. Now, they might ask it in different ways of, walk me through your resume, or I've seen your resume. Tell me what is about you that makes you, what your passion is. Sorry about that. Be prepared to answer this. And I would say your first name, last name, right? Hi, I'm Jojo Palacio. What are you looking for? I am looking to present on preparing for an interview and getting ready for an interview so you can ace it. So I can teach others on how to ace their job interview. What do I have to offer? Knowledge, experience, unhipness of knowing the cool things nowadays. No, I am just here to help with my skills and my knowledge to help others ace their interviews. And really just focus on the positive. Remember, you're a great person, and maybe you don't have all the experience in the world, but you have great qualities that made them interested in you and was being spoken to them through your documentation. The one thing I always want to say, though, is you do not want to focus this on personal information. So stuff like your date of birth, your gender identification, your religion. Now, if you do volunteer, you want to talk about things that are passionate to you of helping communities, but you never want to try to talk about your personal identification. It's just not good to do in an interview, and it makes it a little bit awkward, and it could change the tide or your positive movement that you got going. So when we talk about, so tell me about yourself, this is a really great example. Hello, my name is Sam. I'm looking for a retail sales position in a team-oriented environment. I have experience with the fast food industry and childcare. I have a strong work ethic, a positive attitude, and a track record of punctuality and reliability on every job. Wow, Sam, you sound great. And you want to just stay in that positive mode and that excitement and that really great energy so you can kind of keep things moving and keep things discussing. All right, now in the best part is acing the interview, right? So how do we ace the interview? Be aware of the pace and volume of your control. So I definitely want you to think about being animated and positive, but at the same time, you want to be very clear and you want your volume to be heard enough and slow enough to be understood. I will say is you want to be honest and focused. You want to listen to their questions so you properly ask them. And it is okay, by the way, to re-ask them to ask the question. Like, understand, or you ask it yourself. So if they ask, what is your name? And I would sometimes say, so you want to know my full name, is that correct? And that way it's okay. They actually might appreciate that clarity. Be aware not only of your voice, but your body language, and try to avoid drifting off topics, right? Again, that personal, talking negatively about a past employer or boss or teacher. And I think just always remember, you can re-ask that question. Now, last but not least, and never forget to do this, turn your phone off, turn your social media off, don't do any interruptions. It won't look great. And nothing will happen within the time that you're in the interview. And then, always ask appropriate questions. Have a list of questions coming with you on your resume, writing pad, and pen. Like I said, step 3 from acing the interview is really answering those interview questions in a certain way. Remember when we talked about in a pace and a good volume, making sure they understand you at the when they ask the question. And a great way to always think about a great answer to questions is STAR: situation, task, action, results. It's a really great strategy that's been used by everyone through the test of time. And me personally, I actually focus on the action and results, and I try to keep the situation and task short. And that's because you want to see how you can handle various situations and how you can gain bigger results. Think about this when you're practicing your stories or you're looking at stuff in the mirror, because it can be tough to brag about yourself. But again, if you try to focus this in a much logical, streamlined way of the STAR situation, it'll be situation, task, action, and result, right? So the situation, think of the situation in one sentence, describe what the issue was. The task, how were the tasks completed or what needed to be done in order to fix the situation? What actions did you take immediately from those tasks? And then what were the results? And you really want to try to be as numerical with the results of I flipped X burgers or I helped X customers on any given day. And I think when you describe the results and you try to be as numerical, that gives the manager and the hiring manager and the interviewers an idea of what you can do. So always remember, if you ever forget in an interview, always think about a STAR. And then at the end of the interview, you want to thank them. I usually like to say, I appreciate you taking the time out of your busy schedule to meet with me today. Ask about the timeline of the interview. And I would say, like, what are the next steps to this process? And then I would say, ask when you can expect to hear from them. They wanted these questions. They're going to be ready to get moving. And I would just get prepared for that. So don't worry about thinking that these are weird questions to ask or asking about the timeline. Everyone does it. Everyone. And then still, as I said, you always want to seem appreciative, but you also want to seem enthusiastic at the end. You only have that little pep, that little excitement that you're going to get the job and you're going to get to be started with your life. And offer more info references if they need it. And then I always, always recommend this. It is a dying art, but it would make you stand out above the crowd. Send a thank you note. Either send a thank you email, send a card. It is puts you in a different realm than anyone else because it's starting to not happen regularly. I'm actually a big advocate of thank you emails and thank you cards. I think they're really important. I always like to read my thank you emails and try to personalize them to the interview I just had. But again, I think that is a really good way to make you stand out. So, you heard me talk. You heard this person that's worked a decade in people and talent. You're probably like, oh man, this guy, this person, he knows all this knowledge. No, I don't. I've learned this along the way, and I'm just here to help, and I'm trying to give you some tips and tricks. But I will say there are some great resources that you can use today that will help you land a job. One, school counselors always help to go to those people. They are very knowledgeable. They can always help. YouTube is a really great way when you're thinking about interviews or how to apply for jobs. And then I would always have templates, just templates of your resume, templates of your references, just ready to be printed and ready to go. And I think that Microsoft and Apple do great templates. YouTube has great videos. And check out Snag a Job. Snag a Job is really great series on interviewing for hourly jobs. So it's really exciting. So, as we come to the end of this presentation, and as we close out this wonderful virtual review of how to ace your job interview, I just want you to say, keep calm, don't swear, and keep your cool. You're going to do great. You're going to be amazing. Because think about the interview, prepare for it, practice it, ace it. And last but not least, breathe. Always just breathe. If one doesn't work out, that just means that it wasn't meant for you. But you will find your home.